you feel like it always happens. When one business shuts down, another one pops up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that was my point of view is, okay, MLG shutting down, another one's going to pop up. It might not be at the level that MLG was because it took MLG, a decade to get to where they are now.
I agree, dude.
So, but you would have had if you and a few other pros would have stayed with it, you guys would have been able to go to all these tournaments and dominate. So,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have got. I feel that you
Um,
could have made more money that way as opposed to taking your chances and having to grind your way up from the bottom. That word grind is so outplayed on these. I heard. I think in the W round I heard him say grind like 100 million times.
Yeah,
It was
dude.
really
It
annoying.
really.
But really start over.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And have these dreams of winning these big Call of Duty tournaments. I think you're less likely to win a Call of Duty tournament than you are to win 15 local tournaments or 15 online tournaments or 15 local tournaments and 15 online tournaments. And then not only that, but the Halo community would be so much appreciative that you didn't go over. You would be our man. You would be our guy. Naded didn't go. You know what I mean? Everybody
Yeah.
would be behind you. So your YouTube's jumping off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your stream's jumping off. You're on stream saying Halo's not dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care what all these groupies are doing.
Yeah, seriously.
So that's how I felt about it. And let me ask you directly,
Yeah.
because I got some pretty nasty text message bombed at about 4 in the morning from you when you seen my video. How did that video make you feel? The one, where I addressed the W rant and I ripped up your jersey online on the YouTube.
I mean, I just felt it was fucked up.
Mm.
You know, that pretty much sums it up. But once you explained, your side of the video, I never really was mad at you or anything like that initially, until I heard your side of the video. But I still thought it was fucked up, just to have it on a video.
Yeah,
But,
and it was. I admit it. I wanted it to be an inflammatory, something very explicit. I was going for
Yeah.
shock value. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
after I seen that W rant, I was pissed. You know what I mean? And that was the only way that I could express myself, was to go online and show people me removing those guys from my friends list and to
Yeah.
rip that jersey up. Just to let people know that I'm not just talking. I'm actually taking action. Okay.
Right.
So next topic is the community. Or not even just the community. We'll talk about that in a second. But what made you switch back?
Well,
This is what people are really
Yeah.
interested in.
Well, the reason I'm playing Halo now is because, well, obviously I'm not doing the team house anymore. So I really took the time to really decide what I wanted to do, and
So why didn't you guys do the team house with Halo?
well, like I said before, like the reason we didn't do it with Halo is because of prize money for tournaments.
So you really genuinely thought that you were going to go in there and you guys were going to beat these Call of Duty guys?
Well, that's obviously the goal for every team is to place well,
But would you say that all your years of training and going through the trenches, you would have been able to fare better at a Halo tournament than a Call of Duty tournament starting from scratch?
For me, I think we probably would have done better in Call of Duty.
What's your
Halo
reasoning
because-
behind that? Because I see an excellent Halo player, a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, obviously I've been playing Halo, but the three other teammates, they wouldn't really have as much Halo experience as me. But everybody on the team had Call of Duty experience, Halo experience. So I mean, really, it's not like we're thinking we're going to be the best team. Obviously that's.
So how are you going to make money then?
Well, that's pretty much the banking, it being successful or not is if we place well at events or not.
Exactly, because you guys are counting on these stream numbers, and I don't see really
well,
no stream
yeah,
numbers being too
personally,
successful
yeah.
if you're not doing well in tournaments.
I agree. That's what I told Boss, and Boss, I think his opinion differs a far as, you know, what he
What
thinks.
is Boss's opinion?
He thinks we would have 1,000 concurrent viewers after the first month on the stream. Pretty much every time.
Based on what? Because he's gonna come in
Based off
and he's gonna give, you know, a tip on,
yeah,
you know, how
people
to.
coming in and learning, you know, about getting better at, you know, as a team. Or
So it would be the entertainment value of watching this team either succeed or have success. Because I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that. Because Boss Nasty pretty much said that you guys can just rip through with anybody
yeah,
with his
dude,
coaching.
I don't, you know.
Do you agree with that?
I personally don't agree with, you know, we're gonna just destroy every team. You know, like, I've never said that. I mean, he's probably said that. I don't know if he did or not, but you know, for me, like, I already knew going into it, like, it was gonna be a very hard process. You know, taking it day by day, trying to get better, and you know, he really has a lot of confidence in his abilities to coach. And you know, for me, like, how I view it is, you know, yeah, he's really good at, you know, learning maps, learning strategies, but as far as like in-game mechanics, you know, he doesn't really know that much, as much as maybe I would.
Do you think he was a bit taken back that you said that on the W rant in front of everybody on the live stream?
Maybe, I don't know.
Did he mention anything to you afterwards?
No, he didn't. I don't think he really, you know, we're still friends now, you know, like, there was no hard feelings as far as, you know, anything that happened this past month.
So how did the discussion go between you and Justin and your other teammates to decide, like, you know, what was that in-house? If I was a fly on the wall, you know, what would I have heard?
You would have heard, you know, us. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it was, you know.
At the end of the day, are we Boss Nasty
It
now?
was. It was. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, it was pretty much whatever I decided to do. You know, if I decided to do the team house, then we probably would have done it. You know, but if I decided that I wanted to play Halo, you know, we definitely wouldn't have done it.
See, now that kind of contradicts what he says. You know, he says he wanted to take some nobodies and turn them into somebodies, and it's all based around you, and you're not a nobody.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's kind of contradictory. I don't understand that.
Well, what he's doing now is he's, you know, postponing doing the team house. He's still going to do it, but he's just been going to be more prepared next time he starts everything up, and you know, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about that.
So now I've noticed a difference between the first time, you know, and we'll move on to the subject, you know, with Justin, with your guys', you know, relationship. I noticed, like, when you guys, in some of your guys' earlier videos, you know, you were a little bit more reserved, a little bit less outspoken, you know, maybe a little bit more introverted, you know, kind of like,
yeah,
you know.
definitely agree.
And then later on, you know, you seem like in the team house, like, you know, with you and you're walking through during the tour, you're a little bit more outgoing. And, you know, how did that transformation come? Because it seemed like he dominated everything before, especially like on the Halo Council, you didn't have much to say. It just seems like, you know, you're a different, you know, Brett Leonard now, you know, and you were even disagreeing with him on live stream shows.
Yeah, I think definitely, like, before, I didn't really, you know him as well as I do now, so I was acting probably a lot more, you know, to myself than I should have. But, you know, now that I've gotten to know him over, you know, a couple years, you know, I feel like I can, you know, disagree with them and, you know, we'll still be cool after that.
Now, how exactly does that go when you do disagree with him? Does he go into that whole, like, getting crazy, nigga this, nigga that, or what does it go?
I mean,
I mean, I've seen you, you know, like, you have it in you. Like, when I've seen, you know, the whole Sud, you know, debacle and everything, I was like, damn, I didn't think Brett had a personality where he could just, you know, just debate somebody and be this outspoken, you know, and you're bringing that person, and that's butting heads and colliding with the Justin Boss Nasty Silva guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And how does that transpire?
Yeah.
I mean, is he like getting on Google and yelling at you, or
pretty much, dude. I mean, he actually does do that. Go on Google, and as you know, That's all he really does when he debates. But you know, me and him argue all the time. Like probably if we were doing the team house.
And
you
who
know,
wins the arguments? Would you say he
I
wins,
mean,
or you guys disagree?
I don't know, dude. To be honest,
tie, or
I don't even really. I think the main thing that me and him disagree on is like he's always focusing on viewers and getting a certain amount of whatever viewers for this, and he's really focused on the whole non-competing part of the whole team house, like making it popular, and all that stuff. And for me, like I'm really focused about just getting better as a team. So when
winning, you want to win a championship.
Exactly. Yeah. So when he brings up things like, oh, we're gonna stream this much a day and this, I'm like, we don't have to do all this, to be good. The whole point of this is to be good. And we have to focus on getting good as a team instead of focusing so much on the whole popularity.
Now I heard there was some female drama in this. Would you care to touch on that, or you want to kind of stay away from that area?
I mean,
can you maybe elaborate, give us a little bit of insight?
I mean, a lot of that whole situation, like I prefer not to talk about, but it was really crazy as far as.
So basically, there was some behind the scenes Jersey Shore drama going on.
Yeah, dude, pretty much. Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so. I mean,
so what would you say to the Halo community that was like, you turned your back on us, now you want to come back?
Well, first I want to just, apologize to anyone that, did get upset that, I was going to switch over to Call of Duty, a lot of the diehard fans like you're talking about. And I also want to apologize to everyone that was involved really in like the whole Outplayed You, team house. Hopefully I wish all of them the best of luck, with everyone that, was involved in the whole thing. And but I would have to say I didn't really the team house was going to be originally Halo. I never really thought I turned my back on Halo or anything like that. But I'm really full on supporting it. I'm restarting my stream up, doing YouTube videos, and just really trying to save Halo. Just do anything that I can to help the community.
Now a lot of people have the opinion of it's PC versus console, or PC versus shooters. And, I think myself, it's not really PC versus shooters. Because if it was PC versus shooters and the shooters were going to stick together, then how come Call of Duty didn't, when MLG went to pick them up, said, no, we're not going to accept that, unless Halo comes on the scene with us. We'll downsize a little bit for them and they can come on the scene. So if it was truly shooters sticking together, don't you think that that's what should have happened?
Yeah.
So we are fighting for a spot against Call of Duty, because guess what? We're not on MLG and they are. And at the end of that rant, they were like, well, yeah, well, as long as you guys can bring your viewers over, that's gonna. All I care about is if the COD scene gets better and you guys, not that many people show up to our tournaments, but the Halo tournaments, it's jumping off, it's loud, it's crazy, you guys got fans, people are
that was definitely something I didn't like, how they're like saying like, we as in, like they were part of the COD community, like saying like, I wasn't,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Like, saying like, oh, we, like we're getting better, like as a community, and, saying that, I don't know, I didn't really like that, but I do agree that, we're definitely fighting. But I think
so all this pacifist liberalism where it's like, oh, let's tree hug and shooters need to stick together, and we're against PC. I say that's a bunch of crap. I say we're going straight up with Call of Duty. That's why I'm so fervent when it comes to this right here, because we're going directly against them. And when all the pros, they're like sheep, they just go where Sundance tells them to go, like MLG is it, that's the end all be all, they're deeper in the game than any other tournament, but Call of Duty, they weren't on the thing. And how did you feel when they said that to you? Even Justin specifically addressed that as to maybe one of the reasons why you didn't stick with Call of Duty.